your daily source of breaking news, trending stories, and viral updates around the world. Welcome to The Viral Times. Today we delve into a sensational story that has rocked the Indian judiciary, the case of Justice Yashwant Varma of the Delhi High Court. Justice Yashwant Varma, a distinguished judge of the Delhi High Court, recently found himself at the center of a controversy following an unexpected incident at his official residence. On the night of March 14, 2025, a fire broke out at Justice Varma's official Bangalore in Ludhiana's Delhi. Firefighters promptly responded to the emergency call. While extinguishing the flames, firefighters reportedly discovered large sums of cash scattered across multiple rooms. This unexpected discovery raised eyebrows and led speed speculation about the source and legitimacy of the funds. The incident prompted the Supreme Court to take swift action, and an in-house inquiry was initiated to investigate the matter thoroughly. Chief Justice of India Sanjeev Khanna South detail report from the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court D.K. Upadhyay regarding the incident. Currently, the Supreme Court Coliseum proposed a transfer of Justice Varma back to his parents' High Court in Allahabad. It's not worry that this is not the first time Just's name has surfaced in a controversy. In 2013, he was named in a CBI FIR linked to a bank fraud case involving Simhali sugar mills, where he served as a non-executive director. The case involved allegation of defrauding the Oriental Bank of Commerce of approximately Rs 109 crore through fraudulent loan schemes. Despite the allegations, Justice Varma continued his judicial career, raising questions about accountability within the system. The recent incident has reignited debates about transparency and integrity in the judiciary. The Supreme Court's prompt response underscores the importance of maintaining public trust in judicial institutions. As the inquiry progresses, the legal community and public await further developments in this unfolding story. As of March 24, 2025, significant developments have unfolded in the case involving Justice Yashwant Varma of the Delhi High Court. 1. Withdrawal of judicial duties. The Delhi High Court has officially withdrawn all judiciary responsibilities from Justice Yashwant Varma. This decision, effective immediately, was announced through a circular indicating that cases previously assigned to him have been reassigned. The action follows the discovery of a substantial amount of cash at his residence during a fire incident on March 14, 2025. 2. Supreme Court Collegium's recommendation. The Supreme Court Collegium has recommended transferring Justice Varma back to the Allahabad High Court, his parent institution. This recommendation was made during meetings held on March 20 and 24, 2025, and awaits approval from the central government. The Collegium emphasized that this transfer is separate from the ongoing in-house inquiry into the cash discovery. 3. Formation of Inquiry Committee. A three-member committee has been established to conduct a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the cash found at Justice Varma's residence. This panel comprises the Chief Justices of the Punjab and Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Karnataka High Courts. The committee's mandate is to delve into the matter independently of the transfer proceedings. 4. Justice Varma's response. Justice Varma has refuted the allegations, asserting that neither he nor his family owns the discovered. He suggests that the incident is part of a conspiracy aimed at tarnishing his reputation. According to his statement, the cash was found in an outhouse, not the main residence, and he maintains that no family members placed cash in the storeroom. 5. Bar Association's reaction. The Allahabad High Court Bar Association has expressed opposition to the proposed day transfer, arguing that any decision should await the outcome of the investigation. They have passed a resolution seeking Justice Varma's impeachment and have announced an indefinite strike starting March 25 to protest the transfer recommendation. These developments underscore the judiciary's commitment to addressing allegations of misconduct transparently and maintaining public trust in the legal system. The case involving Justice Yashwant Varma, if proven true, reflects a larger concern about accountability within India's judiciary. While India has a well-established judicial system and a constitutional framework designed to ensure impartiality and independence, allegations of corruption and misconduct among members of the judiciary, though rare, do surface occasionally. 1. Judicial independence and accountability. The Indian judiciary operates independently, and judges are expected to maintain the highest standards of integrity. However, there have been instances where allegations of corruption, favoritism, or misconduct have tainted this image. Collegium system. Judges of the high courts and the Supreme Court are appointed by a collegium system, which lacks transparency and often draws criticism for nepotism and lack of accountability. 2. Is it possible for judiciary members to misuse power? Legal immunity. Judges have immunity for their actions in judicial capacity, making it difficult to prosecute them without approval from the Chief Justice of India, CJI. In-house mechanism. Misconduct by judges is usually handled through an in-house inquiry, but this process lacks transparency and has often been criticized for shielding judges from public scrutiny. Impeachment process. Impeachment of a judge is a lengthy and complex process. Since independence, no judge has been successfully impeached despite serious allegations. The process involves passing a motion in both houses of parliament with a two-thirds majority, which is politically challenging. 3. Why do such cases go unpunished or unnoticed? Lack of transparency. Internal inquiries are conducted behind closed doors, making it difficult for the public to know the outcome. Political influence. At times, political pressure or vested interests prevent stringent action against powerful members of the judiciary. Slow legal process. Even if an inquiry is initiated, the legal system is slow, giving ample time for the accused to maneuver or escape stringent penalties. 4. Public perception and trust. Erosion of trust. Cases like these erode public trust in the judiciary, making people question whether justice is truly impartial. Media's role. Media plays a significant role in exposing such cases, but sustained coverage is often required to push for meaningful action. 5. Is this a big deal or normal? While these cases should be treated as a serious breach of trust, the slow pace of judicial reforms and the lack of stringent measures to hold erring judges accountable make such incidents seem normalized over time. Normalization of corruption. In a system where high-profile individuals often evade consequences, public perception tends to normalize these incidents, which is dangerous for democracy and justice. 6. Recent reforms and judicial scrutiny. There have been attempts to introduce a more transparent system for the appointment and removal of judges, but these have met with resistance. The Judicial Standards and Accountability Bill, proposed in 2010, sought to establish a mechanism for addressing complaints against judges, but it was never passed. While such incidents should be a big deal, systemic weaknesses often prevent decisive action. Reforming the judiciary to ensure transparency, accountability, and timely justice is essential to restore public trust. Without such reforms, the perception that the powerful are above the law will continue to haunt India's judicial system. The Supreme Court of India is the highest judicial authority and the final interpreter of the Constitution. It has historically played a crucial role in safeguarding democracy, protecting fundamental rights, and upholding the rule of law. However, in recent years, the question of whether the Supreme Court is doing its job honestly has become a topic of intense debate. 1. Positive aspects of the Supreme Court's role. Guardian of fundamental rights. The Supreme Court has delivered landmark judgments that have expanded the scope of fundamental rights and safeguarded civil liberties. Kesavananda Bharati case, 1973 established the basic structure doctrine, preventing Parliament from altering the Constitution's core principles. Right to privacy, 2017 recognized privacy as a fundamental right under Article 21. Decriminalization of Section 377, 2018 legalized consensual homosexual relationships. Judicial activism and PLs. The court has acted as the protector of the oppressed through public interest litigations, PILs, allowing citizens to seek justice on behalf of marginalized groups. Cases related to environmental protection, corruption, and human rights violations have been taken up through PLs. Landmark reforms and directions. The Supreme Court has issued directions to improve governance and transparency, such as ordering the establishment of fast-track courts and directing states to enforce police reforms. 2. Concerns and allegations of bias or misconduct. However, concerns about the court's impartiality, transparency, and effectiveness in holding the powerful accountable have led many to question its integrity in recent years. A. Judicial independence under question. Political influence on the collegium system. The collegium system, where judges appoint other judges, has been criticized for its opacity and susceptibility to influence. The government can delay or selectively approve recommendations, indirectly influencing judicial appointments. Allegations suggest that political considerations sometimes affect judicial transfers and promotions. Post-retirement appointments. Critics argue that post-retirement appointments of judges to lucrative positions, often by the ruling government, create a conflict of interest. Example: former Chief Justice of India, CJI, Ranjan Gogoi's nomination to the Rajya Sabha soon after his retirement raised concerns about judicial independence. B. Selective prioritization of cases. Delay in hearing critical cases. Some high-profile and politically sensitive cases have been delayed or not heard with urgency. Petitions challenging electoral bonds, CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, and abrogation of Article 370 have seen long delays. Delayed hearings on cases impacting democratic rights raise concerns about judicial passivity. Fast-tracking of politically sensitive cases. On the other hand, cases favoring the ruling government often get expedited hearings, leading to allegations of selective prioritization. C. Failure to protect dissent and free speech. Arrests and habeas corpus delays. The court has been criticized for not taking swift action in cases where individual liberties were under threat. Example: activists and journalists facing unjustified arrests have often seen delayed relief, eroding faith in the judiciary. Bail petitions for activists and dissenters sometimes remain pending for months, denying them timely justice. Freedom of speech and press. Journalists and media outlets critical of the government often face harassment, but the Supreme Court has not consistently intervened to protect free speech. D. Lack of transparency and accountability. In-house mechanism for misconduct. Allegations of judicial misconduct, including corruption, are dealt with through an in-house inquiry mechanism, which lacks transparency. The process is often opaque, shielding judges from public scrutiny and accountability. Collegium secrecy. The collegium system operates behind closed doors, making it difficult for the public to know why certain judges are appointed, transferred, or promoted. 3. High-profile controversies that raise doubts. CJI Ranjan Gogoi's sexual harassment case, 2019. Allegations of sexual harassment against then CJI Ranjan Gogoi, followed by an internal inquiry that cleared him of any wrongdoing, raised concerns about the impartiality of the system. Judiciary's response to farmer protests, 2020 to 2021. The Supreme Court's delayed intervention in resolving the farmers' protest issue led to criticism that it was not acting decisively. Electoral bonds case. Despite being one of the most critical issues affecting electoral transparency, the Supreme Court delayed hearing petitions challenging the legality of electoral bonds, raising questions about whether it was protecting vested interests. 4. Are judges above scrutiny? Lack of impeachment of judges. While the Constitution provides for the impeachment of judges in cases of proven misconduct, no judge has ever been successfully impeached in India's history. The process is highly politicized and nearly impossible to execute, making errant judges immune from accountability. 5. Public trust and erosion of credibility. Declining faith in judiciary. Public trust in the judiciary has taken a hit due to inconsistent verdicts, perceived political bias, and lack of transparency. Perception of elite bias. The judiciary is increasingly seen as favoring the powerful, while the marginalized face delays and denials of justice. Growing demand for judicial reforms. There is growing demand for judicial reforms, including transparent appointment procedures, greater public scrutiny of the judiciary, introduction of an independent complaints mechanism. While the Supreme Court of India continues to play an essential role in upholding democracy and protecting individual rights, its recent actions, or inaction in certain cases, have raised serious concerns. The lack of transparency, perceived political favoritism, and the selective prioritization of cases are eroding public trust. For the judiciary to restore its reputation as the last bastion of democracy, it must take conscious steps to ensure impartiality, expedite politically sensitive cases without bias, and establish mechanisms for greater transparency and accountability. Without these reforms, the question of whether the Supreme Court is doing its job honestly will continue to linger.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned with us and hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons.